Welcome to another unscripted field video, slightly different this time. I'm now interviewing people that are within my network, within my tribe. And one of those I'm going to introduce today is Mark Oppermann, who I've known for, I think it's about 12 years now, Mark.
12 glorious years.
12 years. I think I was grey then, so I haven't changed that much.
I may have had a little bit more hair at that stage myself. But one of the co-founders at Webio. Webio, we're the conversational middleware company. Now, what does that simply mean is that when you look at the marketplace today, most consumers like you and me, we use the likes of WhatsApp, Messenger, Snapchat, Instagram, the list goes on and on. And there's a conversational gap between where customers and consumers, the likes of us, and the likes of all the consumers out there, are having their conversations and where business have the capability. Typically, companies are still phone calls, email, a bit of SMS, and maybe they've launched, say, web chat over the last while. But actually, there's so many other conversations happening in the likes of, say, WhatsApp as a prime example, 1.6 billion users, close on 70 billion messages a day sent over WhatsApp. That's over 40 messages on average per person per day on WhatsApp. So it just shows you the amount of time people spend on their mobile in these channels. It's phenomenal, and that really is what we're looking to do. Connect business and their customers over those channels, then layer an automation over that. So, your classic, what people talk about, chatbots and AI and stuff like that. And then the final layer is about machine learning, just trying to predict the outcome of a conversation, just both for an effectiveness and an efficiency point of view. So really trying to bring digital conversations into proper digital conversations into large business. And to be frank, at a time that we are now, they're even more apt than ever before.
We're still interacting with brands, even though we can't go shopping, we're stuck at home, and no one's planned for this. So every business is in the same boat. This is completely unplanned for. But how much does a brand stay in touch with the consumer, or how much does the consumer want to stay in touch with a brand? Are you seeing the type of conversation now changing, because we're kind of shifting away from the sales conversation to more of a support and help conversation?
That sort of communication is key. Trying to keep people updated, and you're absolutely right. The conversation has shifted, say, with regards to customers, away from that sales type of conversation, and we have seen a lot more of, I'm going to call it customer support. How can we help you? And it's key that you actually get, what we're seeing is get that message out to people, because you're absolutely right. If you were to ask your customer, they're not thinking about you too much. It's probably, how is this going to, am I going to get paid at the end of the month? Is this going to affect my job? Everybody's in the same boat. We're all going, will this affect my business? Will this affect me? So those type of, how would I like to be treated, should be the way that you're thinking about those communications.
We can't switch off, otherwise we get forgotten, because we're all using new stuff.
What we've seen there is that it's quite interesting that the ability for people to, say, work from home remotely. And it's easy for us as a business because we're in the cloud. All that you need is to log on, open up a browser, and get into Webio in that regard. The biggest challenge for companies is that it's accessing the vital information that the agent would normally have on the screen. It's that access is proving to be difficult for people. So it's not so much can we have a conversation from home, it's the ability to do business as normal.
Because I suppose that even though all these companies will have continuity programs in place, they weren't built for pandemics.
No, they weren't. Stuff that they wouldn't have normally done in the past, they're starting to think about doing now, or just doing it differently. We're seeing that as the biggest challenge, indeed.
When we come out the other side, which we are going to come out the other side of this, the whole business model, or part of the business model around call center and contact centers will change.
I'd be really, really surprised if people just press the reset button and go back to the way it was. The smarter companies are going to learn from this and absolutely take the learnings on board. And they are going to be fitter and be able to move quicker after this. And I think that will be really the determining factor between the winners and losers.
The companies that have adapted quicker and are thinking about different ways of doing things will be the ones that have got traction to go, and the ones that go back to how business was or are still unsure will be left behind. So if you had advice for a business now that was unsure of what they should be doing in terms of staying in contact with their customers, you know, if someone finds you up and said, Mark, I don't know what I should be doing looking after my customers.
Be there for them. That would be what I would say. You know, I think it's about trying to be realistic, be there and support people and have those genuine conversations. But what I would also say that I think what should be happening, the clever ones will be, you know, using some available resource right now, seeing what are we doing today when we're forced to do it that we want to do more of at the end of this? How are we going to be better? You know, because post-pandemic business, how are you going to avail of the opportunities that will be there and try, and I say try, to make up some lost ground? It really is about learning from what is happening today and can we use that to make us stronger, quicker, faster at the other end of this? Because most businesses are solid, profitable, but actually that's no reason why they can't actually get fitter and fine-tune what practices and stuff that they do today. So that would be my thoughts on that.
We had a chat a bit earlier about working from home, and I've been talking to people about people that are working from home for the first time. One of the most important things to do is to get up and get ready for work.
Yeah, let me share what we do in Webio. It's quite interesting. Like 9 o'clock every morning, we have a good morning. We call it a good morning Jim Bob. And in the evening at 5, it's a good night Jim Bob. And if you're of a certain vintage, you will know that's a reference to the Waltons.
Yeah, I was trying to think who you got called Jim, then I remember it's the Waltons, yeah.
So in the morning, it's a quick check-in. You'll see a couple of messages come in during the day. People are sharing pictures of their cat, their dog, normal stuff that you would do in an office.
Yeah, people will miss those micro moments.
And you believe it or not, that is so important, where you're trying to get everybody to gel together and try to recreate that office environment. Communication at this time is key. And it's very important that we take time out and actually ask people how they're feeling. You know, a problem shared is a problem halved, is what some people would say. That people genuinely do have a lot of concerns, and when they do, you know, talk about them, that it's a good thing. And that, if we were to take that example and transpose that into, that's how your customers are feeling. Are you giving them an opportunity to be able to engage with you and have a different type of conversation? I think what you'll find is, at the end of this, customers and brands that do that are going to be in such a much better place from a relationship point of view with their customers.
I think you're dead right there. It's the whole mindfulness, it's empathy, it's being understanding, it's putting yourself in your customers' shoes as well, which we often forget to do, or we assume that our customers are feeling the same way. So yeah, I like that. You know, it's looking after your employees, but then reminding yourself that your customers are going to be in the same sort of situation.
Yeah.
So thanks for chatting, Mark. And just to close, there's one thing I do have to say is Liverpool will win the Premier League, regardless of when it ends.
As a Man United fan, you know that hurts me to the core.
As long as it's before the Summer Olympics.
No, I'm going to say, in fairness, Phil, the better team will win the championship this year. You guys have been phenomenal, so I'm going to give you that. I'm a magnanimous Man United supporter. There's not too many of us, but I'm going to give you that. And
just to use that is Liverpool streets ahead of everyone else, and what businesses can't allow is to let someone get streets ahead of them when we come out of this. They need to be up close to them. So great to speak, and let's do this again in a couple of weeks and catch up again to see how things are going. And if you've got any more tips for everyone out there.
Yeah, delighted to.
Great to speak to you.
Thanks again.